Camera is good, sound is good. Everything seems to be perfectly on track for a wonderful evening, or actually a morning, an afternoon. Wherever you're watching from, hello and welcome for this stream. I hope you're doing well today. So, everybody, so happy to be back live. Tucker, Felicia, Jasmine, Christopher, Eva from very windy Sweden, rainy days in France. Good morning everyone, good afternoon. Today is going to be a pretty chill session. We're just gonna paint. Look at the size of this thing. I'm again starting projects that are way too big for what I actually have time to do. I don't know why I always start projects that are so big, like it motivates me a lot. I really want to start big things, you know, with a lot of story, like some cool elements, things that are really impressive. I want to so in my mind, I really want to sort of capture the attention of whoever passes next to this. And I figure, well, if it's smaller, yeah, it doesn't make it, but like something huge is going to be very impressive. So I'm always like starting these huge projects that I actually don't have time to finish. So I'm gonna force myself to do that today. But actually, I've got some mixing to do. But yeah, first, let's take the camera and put it like that. So, how is this looking with the camera's here. All right. Hello, can you see me? Can you see me? Approximately. All right. So yeah, I'm just going to be fixing stuff today, and I'm going to turn my magic thing that allows me to hear what you're saying. Hello from the correct side of Red River. Yeah, this magic thing will allow me to have know what you're saying without having to read. This is just magic. This thing is just the best. It's like technically a weird robotic voice reading out loud the messages, but super helpful. This way I can focus, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, how are you doing? Yeah, most of the time the dreams, they do come true. It's just that sometimes the big projects, they are super amazing and like motivating, but like there's always something that goes wrong in the middle of the project, and at some point you sort of have to stop, and because you need to change something, you need to rework something. And then you start working on other projects because it's just too slow, and then the other projects, like, they take over and you forget about the first big one. And when you come back to it, you say, hey, should I finish this big painting that I started actually? And when you finally get back to thinking about finishing it, you're like, whoa, this is way too much work. Shouldn't I be doing something more like easy? And it stays in some corner of the studio, and it can stay like that for a long time. It's great that it's not a commission.
Switching to palette for 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, you can switch to palette, but this is technically my palette cam.
That's pretty nice.
That's pretty nice, but you just have
back to easel.
The other thing. All right, so yeah, because I'm mostly focusing on the palette at the moment. No, actually they don't. Actually they don't buy this stuff. I don't know why I make it. I don't know why I make it. It doesn't sell. I guess I make it for the museum. There's absolutely no chance that I'm gonna sell this in my lifetime. I don't know. I make it because it's like really the kind of story that I want to tell. However, it's just, I don't want to pretend that it's some sort of a torture, but you know, it's something that really motivates me. It's just that, like, technically, it's not a good business decision. It's just a purely crazy artistic decision. I just make it for the love of art. And yeah. And yeah. The gallery I work with actually doesn't really...
Command, zooming in for 10 seconds.
Hey, nice zoom. How does palette apply to the most
Zooming out.
gigantic, ginormous premium painting? The palette, you mean? Well, you just mix more paint when you have to do background. Otherwise, you mix the same amount, just work piece by piece, like you just work on this part and this part and this part. I don't know. I had this one big painting, which was my second largest size. And I managed to actually finish it in like a month and a half. But yeah, you know. But yeah, so I figured let's do this live, because the only way to motivate me to start working on this piece again is to force me to do it live. This way I'll at least start again, because I started this one in January 2023, which is insane. I'm gonna take like 1 year to make it this, but I stopped for such a long time. I put it on the largest size I worked with was this one 2 meters, I think. I don't remember how big it is actually. I think I'm gonna just for reference. It's so it's 160 centimeters by 130. And it's the biggest. But you know, when I in most of my shows and all, like the big paintings are they are the masterpieces. So I really do create them for the love of art, and you know, they do their job as sort of like big impressive pieces. That's what motivates me really in this thing. But yeah. Yep. So still the same principles of color mixing, just as less time. Actually, I shouldn't have. Do you think there is still do you think there is? I think still a value. Yeah, I do like canvases that are pre-primed with lots of coats of gesso. I even coat them myself, even though I buy pre-prime so that it's nice and even, like factory made. I still re-prime with my own hands so that it feels more organic. I don't like to have the, you know, the very how to say mechanical weaves of the canvas. It's always more difficult to paint figurative, and the thing is, figurative, the type of figurative that I do is like the entire story the entire space of the painting has to be a meaningful element. I add tons of elements and I put a lot of work in all the parts, which like it's what works for it was work with the public. Like they do the people who watch who look at the paintings regardless of whether or not they want to buy them, which is actually technically not the point of why I'm making them. They do appreciate like the big stories, the big narrative, having something to think about, and they do like the big format. So I'm making it just for the love of art. Il y a eu 2 annonces, j'ai pas entendu la réponse. I'm about to start a painting on copper plate. Oh no, I don't have any tips on that because I never did this, but let me know how it goes. Please come back and just report how it was. I'm very interested. Or hang around in the Discord. Yep, Discord, if you're not in there, you need to be, because that's where all the cool stuff happens. So by the way, while I'm switching lenses, let's actually see the Discord challenge of the week, which was, by the way, so if you don't mind, if you don't remember, there is a challenge, an art challenge. It's here, an art challenge channel on Discord that you can submit your attempts at completing these art challenges. And this week, I don't know if you're going to make it every week, but I mean, this one is Monsters of the Abyss, and we already had 2 submissions, so you guys work really fast. You're very impressive. We had one from Critbite, which is a super cool abyss monster, digitally painted, and really cool. And this one by Felicia, this impasto weird fish head, scaly, flowery, pretty cool. So if you have submissions and if the theme Monsters of the Abyss is something you would like to work on, feel free to participate in this one. All right, so let's switch lenses and start this thing. So for this one, I'm not gonna do anything super crucial, to be honest. I'm going to fix stuff, but old stuff. Ooh, it's dark because it's not the same lens. Okay. Need to do the settings again, and all right. So I'm gonna fix things in this character here, and then I need to do the back of the kid's body actually, but I'm not gonna, I know what you're going to ask, but I'm not gonna show you the entire thing because I'm just ashamed of the way the rest looks. So yeah, don't ask. I'm not gonna show the entire thing. Come on. Give me some. You actually see a little bit of the small guy here. Alright, so the palette is alright. So it's, as I said, it's really, really old stuff. Actually, the camera is, yeah, otherwise you would be exactly in the same position as I am, which is never finishing stuff. But hey, sometimes you look at the, you look at the art books and you look at the dates of the paintings, and sometimes they spread over like 5 years. It reassures me. It says that, hey, I'm not the only one, right? Some artists back in the days, they used to take way more time, so I'm good. Not the worst. Not the worst. The next exhibition is supposed to be, well, actually I'll have a small show with only 2 works, like a small collective show with only 2 works in November, December this year. But there's just 2 works, just a collective show, mostly to meet people, but I'll give you an update on if you want to, if you're in Paris. It's in Paris. And my next solo show should be, but yeah, how things can evolve, you never know. It should be March 2024. Yes, it can be shame-worthy, because if I don't feel comfortable, it's just, I don't feel like showing it. And I do also have self-doubt. It's a part of working on anything. It's never good to be too self-confident, and sometimes I do have like huge disgust in what I do, or on parts of the things that, like, it's not good in general to be disgusted by the art you make. Let's just be very honest. But if you're just slightly disgusted by parts here and there, it can be fixed, right? So that's kind of the point of working on big things like that. You might be happy with a big part of the painting and not happy with the rest. That's kind of normal. Ouais, bah cool, Jasmine, pas de souci. Yeah, it's all part of the process of comparing your work to what you're capable of. Exactly. It's comparing yourself to what you've been able to accomplish back in the days or before, and sometimes you can't even reach the same level that you had before. It's like, let's say there was a time when you were really in good shape, like I'm really talking like an athlete there, like you were really in good shape in your art, and you were making some tremendous art, and you had like this super awesome feeling that whatever you touched was turning into gold, and all of a sudden it disappears, because it would just be too good to be true if it stayed that way forever. So sorry to break it to you, but it never stays that way. And yeah, you end up with like back to the old imperfect, slow-moving, tedious way of making art. And yeah, but now I have you guys to motivate me and push me and give me a reason to actually start working back on these things. Like I'm not kidding. Like my last show was, it actually went so well that now I'm so anxious that the next one is not going to be to the same level. And I don't think that any of my current paintings are at the level that I had before. And the more I worry about this, and the more the level drops. It's crazy. So yeah. But yeah, make the art for the love of art, not for what people expect of you. That's the motto. I know it. I know you're going to say that. Just make art that you like. I like making it. And I know the principle of making art for the beauty of what I want to express and all. I've been praising this. I've been saying this song for forever. It's still hard to practice what you preach, right? So, no, this is not gonna work. It's too fluid. But yeah, so that's how it works. You are manifesting your fears. Yeah, pretty much. Exactly, KB, that's you said it perfectly. The problem is that the better it goes, the more you run into the paradox that you feel torn between doing the same to repeat success or reinventing yourself and risk not hitting it. I couldn't express it better. That's exactly that. Couldn't express it better. It's weird, but people seem to like art that is not great. Yeah, I know. It's not about the quality of the work, it's about how you sell it. Of course. Have you seen what they sell? Have you? They managed to sell a banana taped to a wall, a blank square with nothing in it, lights turning on and off, so, and piles of trash. So yeah, I know it's not about the quality, but for me it is. And I know what the gallery that works with me, I know what they want, and I don't know, it's hard to give them what they want because it doesn't motivate me that much, but I know what sells. I know the formula to just get a painting and have someone think, hey, I want this on my wall. But kind of as decoration. I know the decoration formula. I'm just not interested. So I'm making huge ass paintings like that for, yeah, let's just say it, for nothing. And I find beauty in this, you know? Kind of wasting my time here, but aren't we all? Aren't we all? What does it all mean? At least I'm making something that I find beautiful. Or at least the attempt to reach beauty at some point, like the fugitive hope that at some point I'm gonna reach an ideal, which is beauty. It's just enough to motivate me and tell me that it's, yeah, okay, it's worth it. It's idiotic and all, but it's worth it. It's like you're pretty much wasting your time, no way around it. But like, we are all wasting our times here. Like, from the day we are born, we are just time-wasting entities that go around and pretend to have something important to do. Like, I go around and I don't pretend that anything I do is important. I just try to make it slightly beautiful. Or I try to make the world slightly less meaningless than it was before. Or, yeah, I'm not gonna say that I make the world more beautiful or anything, but if I just can make it less completely meaningless, I mean, I'm happy. And in many ways, this is already a goal that I was trying to achieve in my life, and I'm very, very happy and satisfied. No matter what I say about my art, don't listen to me rambling and ranting about how I'm so slow to make the art. I'm super happy. I'm the happiest man on earth, really. Like, really. Because success for me is to find a way to sustainably make something that I love doing every day. And I love doing this stuff. Even though it's, like I said, it's even in the title of the freaking stream, I say pain. Like it's pain. No, it's just a way of expressing how painfully slow my way of making art is. But it's not giving me anxiety that I despise, that makes me feel bad. It's anxiety about something outside of me. I want to achieve this ideal, which is why I'm so anxious to get it right. I'm not anxious about achieving anything. It's like I'm anxious about, is this going to be the standards of beauty that motivate me to start this in the very first place or not? I'm anxious if it looks bad. I'm anxious if it looks ugly. I'm not anxious if people like it or not. See? Yes, my philosophy, I guess. Doing what makes you happy is what matters. No one gets out of life alive. Yeah. Doing what makes you happy, but my point is to make it sustainably and over the long run, kind of. See, not just a big rush of I'm making something that makes me happy now, and like let's say I'm traveling to this place that makes me happy and then nothing. I want to do something that makes me decently satisfied, but just I prefer to have, like, you know, I'm not aiming for this big rush of happiness. I'm aiming for simple things every day, getting closer every day to beauty, the ideal of beauty that I'm looking for in my painting. And I'm mostly doing this for myself. I don't know who I'm making this for. It does make me happy, even though sometimes it's, yeah, as I said, it's painful and all, but this is good pain. And I was lucky enough to find a way to make this sustainable in a way by, I have to say, not just by the sale of the art themselves, but by complementing the revenue from my art sales with other streams of income. But you have to do that to be more free and more relaxed towards your connection to your art. Otherwise, you have to format the painting into something that will sell. And that I know for sure that wouldn't make me happy. So I could sell more art, but this would be art that makes me feel less good about myself and less good about what I do every day. What do you think? Epictetus would have something to say. Oh yeah. I so get this feeling. It makes me feel nervous when I don't like my paintings and people congratulate me. Yeah. And sometimes they are right. But yeah. God, this is old paint. Paint is freaking old. Hi, Nolan. With the sponge, I'm oiling out, but you have to go back to the video I made on my channel called "This Varnishing Mistake." La-di-da-da. It's because the paint layer is fully cross-linked, so basically the oil is not going to penetrate. So I'm using a little sponge to very softly scratch the surface, just give it a little scratchy scratch to help penetrate. Right. All right, let's finally start painting. So what's your philosophy on art and happiness and making what makes you feel happy? Tell me about your words of wisdom. Is it true that garlic helps? I don't know, never tried. I don't really want to try. Like supposedly ammonia is supposed to help. I once tried and it was atrocious, so I'm not using like tricks like that ever again. Thankfully I did try on a separate sample. If you want to understand why I'm scratching, just watch the video I made. It's called This Varnishing Mistake something. Just type Florent Farge varnish something. It will show you. Garlic supposedly helps for copper, so I don't know who was asking about copper, but like meditation on mental calm, tranquility, silence. Yeah, it's a good... Like if you can achieve that already. Start. Hey, wait, you stole that one, Christopher. I know this one, but it's pretty true. I've never found all the accidents to be happy though, but... Oh. That's pretty cool, Nolan, that you could reconnect with yourself. That's already a pretty huge achievement. How are you supposed to use garlic? I think you just cut it in half and just spread it. And it's going to chemically activate the surface so that basically the copper will accept the oil. But again, I've never done this, so don't Don't ask me, it's just what the theory says. My philosophy: do what you enjoy in life. Some people are more inclined to be doctors or mathematicians. Everyone can excel at something. Pretty true. That's also a nice philosophy. Painting as an excuse not to clean house. Nice. Well, that's just a dream, Christopher, but... Hi, Revens. Yeah, it would be ideal to have like people who just want to buy your stuff. No questions about it. You can do whatever you want. Like, to be in this situation, it's really like difficult to get to this stage, but it can be done. Like, generally it's like a capital of trust with your public and like the people working with you, like with as a very established artist, like an artist that has been doing this for a long time. You can start already setting the ground rules for your own work. However, it's a very elite situation to be in. Hello, Moses. Hello to Kenya. How is it going? Your dad was a very smart person. Like, the creative and rational sides, they need to work together, right? How many like creative minds do you know that people just say, oh, this is just wasted potential? Because most of the super creative people are just a little bit too crazy, so they never get to make things happen. And you need a little bit of your rational side to like actually take things in order, make one thing after the next, and just make things happen. Otherwise, like when you're too creative, you just have tons of ideas, but never any plan to actually make them happen. Some people are very good at making things happen, but very bad at having ideas. How do you feel about contests for exposure? I think that most of them are kind of fees scam. Like a lot of them are scam fees, which is why they sort of always upsell. Like they actually upsell that, hey, if you want, you can submit another 2 paintings to maximize your chances for $80 the picture. You can, for $80 per picture, you can have like, for $160 you can have even more chance to win and be a part of our amazing exhibition. Like some of them just make sure that you don't fall into any of the traps, and make sure that you the contest you want to be a part of has some sort of a reputation that precedes it, that makes it valuable. Otherwise, it's going to be just a line on your CV and on your on your resume, and that's not worth it. Why are you calling me out? Did I call you out? Hi, Gary. Do I consider YouTubers as actual celebrities? Past a certain level? Yeah. Yeah, only me, actually. Oh, okay. I see. I see no one. No, but if it's a problem, it's the easy fix is you can just work on your organizational skills, and it can fix it. Like this can be fixed. It's better to have ideas because you can learn how to. You can learn how to make them happen, rather than not having ideas at all. Like for an artist, it's problematic, let's say, for a creative person. Well, your discipline might not be what you expect it to be. It can be sort of having a setup in which like you have everything easily accessible, that could be the type of discipline that helps you work more on your art every day instead of letting your ideas go away. Let's say, imagine that I didn't have this entire setup that you see here. I would have to take all my brushes out of some type of box every day, clean them all the time at the end of the session, take them out the next day. I would have to take the palette in my hand, do this and that, put the paint in some other box at the other side of the room, and it would just discourage me to even start, and I would have tons of ideas. I know I would have just as many ideas, but it would be so painful to start making them into an actual thing every day that I wouldn't do it. So being organized is not necessarily being very, like, you can be disorganized but yet organized in a way. Like having a nice setup for your art can be the very first thing that will help you push your organizational skills to the next level. And it doesn't feel like much, but I can assure you that if you take this away from me, I can do way less. Way less. And it's not about how many ideas I have. It's like I need all this stuff, and it took me a long time to optimize my entire system, and I optimize it every day. And sometimes I don't hesitate to sacrifice an entire day of work to make things more practical, because I know that it's not going to be wasted time on the long run, right? Yeah, you waste one entire day of painting, but if you take everything in consideration, it's not going to be a wasted time. It will speed things up in the future. You don't want to make it into a kitchen-like chore, exactly. Have a system in place that works. I have to put away my painting thing at the end, but it's during the setup of the painting space. It gets me into the right headspace. Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, setup time, like preparation time and cleanup time, it's a lot as well. It's like, if you can take this into consideration and shrink this time to the limit, the minimal amount of preparation, the minimal amount of cleanup every time, like that alone can just help you make, I don't know how many more paintings overall. Like over your entire career, you can make like maybe hundreds more paintings just out of this saved prep time. On creative, whatever, it's like, how long does it take? Depends. For me, I usually spend a day or two on just the composition. Like the composition actually, it's a bit more than that. It's like the composition is like a sort of a background task for several weeks. and then I start actively working on it. Like, let's say I first start just laying down some ground idea in my sketchbook. Then I leave it on the side while I'm still finishing my other stuff. And when it's time to start the composition, when I actually start making it, I take 1 day or 2 or sometimes more, depending. What made you take the leap to become a full-time artist? I don't know. I just had this existential questioning in my life, and I knew that I wanted to make this for some reason, but it took me a while to find the right plan that would make it a viable life choice, not just a rash decision. But it was mostly the meaninglessness of what I was doing before that tipped me in this direction. The hand on the left is the skeleton. This hand, it's a hand with a glove, a black glove. What it takes to be a professional artist? Well, first of all, it takes to have a way to get to this position. So find a sort of a transitional plan. You're not going to make money out of your art immediately, so you need a sort of a transition option, like while you're making it slowly, while you're slowly making your position better, you want to have something to rely on to keep the lights on. So that takes it. That's a part of the entire thing. Is the part of making it as a professional artist is first not being a professional artist and first being a hobbyist. Would you still make this art that you ultimately want to make as your career? Would you still make it if it wasn't bringing any money whatsoever? If the answer is yes, then that's what you need, because if you're in it for the money, like being a professional artist is the worst career choice in the entire universe. So you need it takes the motivation and the clear-mindedness to realize that, okay, I need to be not too much of a pride, of a proud. I need to swallow my pride, let's say, and realize that I need to have something on the side. If you're filthy rich from the get-go, like your spouse is a super wealthy billionaire, then in that case it doesn't concern you. You're like us. Your first concern in your career would be how to not make this a career. Seems that money is a very common source of anxiety. It is. Do you prefer to communicate with someone while painting, or is it more easy if you concentrate I like both. I like having a sort of a background. I don't mind what I'm doing right now, talking and painting at the same time. I don't mind for certain things. I couldn't paint everything this way. And as you probably saw, I started with a painting that was already quite there. It's just little details to fix. So this part is very easy. In this case, just need to fix details here. So my job is already done. I can talk. Sometimes I need to focus, so I don't stream these parts. I'll stream something easy. Yeah, making money from art is a double-edged sword. What happens when you don't make money anymore? Money gives you the opportunity not to think about money. Exactly. So basically what it takes to become a professional artist, meaning somebody who makes money out of this stuff, is to not worry about money. So first find a way to not worry about the money and then become a professional artist. Don't say, hey, I'm gonna make it and I need to become a professional artist. No, it's just like, yeah, some artists, it worked for some, but most artists, let's be honest, have to work on something on the side. And if it can be art related, that's perfect. And after that, you have also a lot of new ways to make money out of your art by selling prints, using social media, promote your work with lots of different channels that you didn't have back in the day. So it's gonna be done. It's just not gonna be done like just like that. It will take time, patience. I wanted to have a passion job, but I'm worried I would end up hating that passion. Art is such a wide market. Yeah, because if you're looking for art, like the things that orbit art, like what I'm making is right like the center of the star with regards to what I'm interested in. And thinking about, if I was talking about some job counselor about I want to be an artist, the job counselor would probably suggest to me that I work in web design, some type of illustration, that I make, I don't know, thumbnails for YouTubers or whatever, something that uses my talents, because they think that this is somehow the same. I don't want to make that. You can, that's a valid thing. It's just some artists, they start doing this and they get stuck in this and they still maintain that they consider themselves as artists, but what they do is some weird web design illustration that they don't care about. I don't care about designing a logo for Taco Bell or whatever. I don't care. I want to make my art that nobody cares about, right? I care. And I need to find a way to be financially independent, even though nobody else in the world cares except people who want to have a look at it and not buy it. And I'm making this for them and for me because it makes me happy. I was making web design, logos for websites and stuff like that. It would make atrociously depressed based on what I think art should be. I don't want to work in, let's say, advertising. I don't care. I want to work on this. I don't want to work on something that's somehow orbiting the world of art. I want to be right at the center of the star. I don't want to be in the orbit. Right? I want to be in the middle. No one cares except the people that do. Yeah, exactly. There are not a lot of people. And I want to have this honor to care for a very small elite of people. Yeah, that's it, Raven. But that's also what will ultimately make people care. Is like you first have to care. Like, imagine Van Gogh. He was the only one who cares for what he did for such a long time, and he couldn't expect what happened after his after he was dead, actually, when he had success as an artist. But that's how it is. No, that's right. You can't force anyone to care. That's why you caring is what will make people ultimately care. If they somehow have some sort of resonating spirit with whatever you do. But you can't decide that. I'll tape a cheesecake chimichanga to a canvas. Okay. Alicia is she losing her mind or turning into a conceptual artist? Alicia, did you step in on the other side? Have you joined the ranks of the contemporary artists? Yeah, because taping cheesecake to a canvas is it's actually a very good idea if you want to appear as a serious artist. Like what I'm doing here, it's not serious art, let's face it. I show that to prestigious art institutions. They'll just laugh and say that it's just kitsch and old-fashioned, you know? But like just farting in a jar and just sending it to them as a sort of a message of rebellion, and that's very smart and clever and actually very profound. Is it better to lose your mind? Yeah, probably. Well, I have to agree with the cheesecake as well. Yeah, as a painting medium, no. The contemporary artist, I don't know. I think they're enjoying themselves insofar as they feel important. They're like, they are part of the small microcosm that sort of insists on how elitist and advanced they are. Well, actually what they do is deconstructing most of the culture that we had and actually making everyone feel dumb to sell stuff. But yeah, they do feel, I do think that these people feel that they are part of something very important and clever and high-end and top drawer. Yeah, the pouring. Is it still a thing? Is it still a thing? Is there still a big pouring community? Because it's been a long time since I've been suggested pouring videos on YouTube. There was this big thing. What was it, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago? Huge pouring community with actually, I think, a lot of people not even interested in doing it, just watching it for the ASMR value. It was really something else. Do we really need capitalism? No, I'm not gonna respond to that because it would take me to way too much of a long discussion. But I can tell you a lot, but I'm not. I want to talk about art. If you want my short summary of the future of capitalism and whether or not we want it or not, it's not a matter of whether or not we want it. because the entire question is not, it's not capitalism. Let's face it, it's not capitalism that made the world as it is today. Is cheap energy. Do we want cheap energy, like cheap gas, cheap oil? That's the question. Can we still have it for a long time? Can we still be as prosperous as we were in the 70s, in the 60s, 70s, with less and less cheap gas? I don't know. And capitalism or not, like even like the communist state, everybody will suffer from like shortages of cheap energy, and we'll have destroyed the planet with the carbon emissions. So I don't think we'll have the choice of, it's not going to be a decision that we'll make whether or not we keep capitalism or not. It's just we're going to run out of cheap fuel to fuel this crazy growth, and there's going to be suffering. And this painting is actually kind of about that. The backstory behind this painting is also a bit about that. Not necessarily specifically about this issue, but it's about the kind of the future. There's lots of dripping crude oil in this painting, and it kind of symbolizes, in a way, the fate that we're kind of we're just consuming it all, and we're running out of it. We're gonna run out soon, like at some point. Or we get to a different planet, or we just mine an asteroid or anything, but I mean, we're gonna have to find a solution, whether we want it or not. Yeah, or we managed to get to run the system and we'll get fusion working. But fusion is it's far away in the future though. Oh yeah, so that's my big conception about the history of the world, is that the world wasn't shaped by like conscious decisions. We didn't consciously decide to make capitalism happen. We just happened to find a cheap energy resource that was providential to help us reach the insane growth that we still have today. And now we're in a situation where it seems that it's going to be more and more difficult to guarantee equal access in the future. So if you think that you're going to live like your grandparents or your parents, you think that your kids are going to live better than you, they probably can live better in a way, but with less cheap energy, definitely, and just less stuff. How we moved from talking about art to politics. I'm not even talking about politics though. It's like just the current situation, like seen from a, not necessarily from a political point of view, just I see it from a historic point of view, so how the humanity evolved basically. AI will tell them they're living better and they'll have no choice but to trust it. Yeah, but what is the AI? What is the fuel that makes the AI work? And I'm saying this as I'm consuming gigatons of data with the YouTube servers and stuff. Yeah, not saying there's going to be any simple solutions. $10,000? Yeah, I would say if you really want your art to survive 10,000 years, go for something sculpted, like a bronze, a marble sculpture. This has a real chance of surviving. Metal sculpture. 10,000 is very far away in the distance. So a painting? No, a painting wouldn't survive this long. If not for a civilization to continuously maintain it. Like, you have to realize that the way we maintain those paintings of the past in good condition, like, it's not guaranteed that there's going to be someone to maintain a painting under the right conditions. Like, just keep it under a roof is not guaranteed. So the paintings, they have like let's say they have a shelf life of 300 years, if you're lucky 500, and past that I wouldn't count too much, right? But 500 is already pretty long. You can hope to have your paintings in 500 years to be still preserved and in the same quality. It's just like, it's basically the same age as the Mona Lisa, more or less, right? You can just, I think it's good to hope for that. I would be happy. Better get your paintings ready for space. Yeah, why not? Painting on gold then, like sculpting on a golden, like what they did with what was it, Pioneer? What is the satellite that they launched? It's not even a satellite actually. The spaceship that they launched all the way to Alpha Centauri, or it's not Discovery, where they had like sort of a picture of humans on a golden plate with kind of a map of where Earth is in the universe. Pioneer. This was a pretty cool project. I don't know. I find this kind of project is really where science and art kind of meet. I mean, this attempt at just reaching out for something. I mean, there's 99.9% chance that this thing will just end up completely lost in space and will never be found ever. And it's still cool that it was made. Like, it's very human, just a bottle in the ocean, kind of, the huge ocean of space. I really love this I find this very inspiring, at least, how this kind of foolish attempt at reaching for a distant horizon. I find this Pioneer project, it's very artistic in its essence. Stephen Hawking was, you fools, what have you done? Yeah, and sent it back. So what was the big craze about they found aliens, or I didn't really catch up with this story. Didn't there was this rumor that they had like some weird secret evidence of aliens or anything? Not that I believe in it, or I just like humans telling stories and imagining stuff. That's my expertise. I always like to listen to what people like to imagine. It's a continued source of inspiration. So, update me on the story, like what happened? But really, like what did they say? The ancient aliens, like those who built the pyramids, or? No, saying that we're the only ones, I agree, is very... It would be very foolish to think that there is no other life form or no possibility of any life form other than on Earth. But the fact that we have the possibility of contact is not really understanding the scale of the universe. So I think there is another life form. It's just that the universe is just so big. It's big in time and space. There's probably been a civilization that we could have connected to, but like maybe it was thousands of or millions of years ago or millions of years in the future. Like the scale doesn't make human communication possible. Like we have a much better chance of like leaving traces of our civilization for the future top species of the Earth when we are extinct. Like let's say giant octopi that evolve into the new top species on Earth and we leave them a message, we have a much better chance of communicating with a different intelligent species this way, taking care of what we have on Earth and trying to reach out. Cat people. I love the idea of cat people. Or isn't it the lizard people? Aren't they already those who are supposed to, yeah. Who'd you say they aren't already here? My favorite story was the Betty and Barney Hill abduction case in the early 60s. I don't know about this one. Never heard of it. Alright, that's pretty cool. Make a painting out of it. Yeah, this should be the next challenge of the week then. Oh. Painting on Mars is pretty boring though. I mean, even as a landscape artist, like once you did one, you pretty much have everything you need, right? The hills were an American urban legend. Yeah, what do you do on Mars? It's like, okay, so Elon wants to go there and then what? Just die there? I mean, cool plan. But I don't know. I think it's mostly a plan for Earthlings. Escape to Mars, kind of. Yeah, maybe you can stay there and just leave us alone. I think it just wants to brag that he was the first one to get there, so it's kind of an ego thing. I mean, it's not that there's no atmospheres, there's no atmosphere for living beings. It's just a big rock orbiting the sun. That's what Mars is. And there's probably a shitload of resources to mine and stuff, sure, but how do you bring them back? It's kind of stupid. Yeah, because a desert on Earth, at least you have a couple animals, an oasis here and there. But like a desert on Mars feels so boring. Like, I was kind of amazed at first when I saw the Discovery photos, but then it got like, you know, it's just Mars. It's always the same. And sometimes they say, hey, huge news, we found traces of water. Cool, that's cool, that's scientifically cool. Still don't want to go there. I don't see the point in going there. Outside of robots just for studying. Like the robots are cool, like we want to study everything. That's fascinating. Other than that, Mars feels very uninspiring. I'd rather keep the Earth in good shape. What's my dream painting? I don't know, any type of painting that I can do actually is my dream painting. If I can do it and finish it and make it a proper painting, kind of my dream painting. like every painting that I finish that I'm satisfied is my dream painting. It's hard to make it happen, that's all. And the dream painting puts a lot of pressure on all the other paintings. Hello, Rita. An American living in Mexico. So that's a good plan. Keeping some time away from work for to give you more time to make more paintings. That's an awesome plan. Picked up some mineral spirits today. No excuse. Yep, pretty much. Don't have something in the back of your mind that you don't feel ready for yet? Well, sure, it's like describing any new painting project that I start. I try to start every painting as it's my dream painting. The dream is simply to make it happen. I don't have this big breakthrough project that I'm waiting for. It will happen when it happens. I don't know. And I don't specifically dream about it. I try to make just each painting as good as I can, and that's it.
I've been hurt before. All's fair in love and war. So I snuggle up close to the shell I'm living in. And if I let you in, another round begins. I know I'm spinning in a vicious cycle. I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start?
I've heard it said that portraits, they should be life-size or smaller, but I've seen large portraits before. I guess it depends on how far you're standing from the painting. Yeah, if you actually paint a portrait like this size is already pretty. It feels kind of life-size, even though, like, compared to the size of my hand, it's much smaller. Like, a head is actually much smaller, much larger, but it kind of feels almost life-size. If you actually make a painting with, like, an actual size of a head is a little bit larger than my hand, it feels enormous. So very monumental. So it's like, you know, a very glorifying portrait. If you want to make it life-size, it's going to look huge because there's this distance. Technically, the space of your canvas is like a frame, is like a window, and you enter the space. So the model is a little bit in the distance compared to the actual flatness of the canvas. Imagine that it's a window and you're knocking on the glass, and the subject is actually just behind the glass, a couple of feet further back. If you make it life-size, actual life-size, it feels enormous because it feels like it's stuck on the glass and it's just right in your face. It feels very, elogious. So it's more for super crazy ego. Or if you want to make a giant representation of someone, you can make it even a little bit better. But like usually it's a bit smaller though than life size. Can you skip the sketch process and just compose on Krita? Absolutely. Interesting, already being an artist makes that to you, I guess. Exactly. I live in my dreams every day. That's the cool stuff. Thank you, Jasmine. So nice. Yo, you ever get art blocks sometimes? Tell me about it every day. Can you skip this? Yeah, and according to Epictetus, we would be better off focusing on what is within our control. And so I just paint what comes to mind. But I do have other creative projects I want to finish outside painting. Yeah, just focus on what is within your control. And I made a video about Stoicism, even though Epictetus is not a Stoic, but I made a video about this idea of things that are under control, so it's very related to Stoicism. And accept the fact that the painting is not 100% under your control. It has a life of its own. Like what you thought, your expectations might not be something you can actually do. Ultimately, you might want to change plans at some point, take a different route. So focus on what's in control and make sure that you keep this idea. For me, it's very important. This idea that the art is not in control, it's just controls itself through you. Very paradoxical. It's both something that you control entirely and something that controls you. A very strange relation between the art and the artists. Hi, Janet. Welcome here. That's cool, Christopher. Well, you don't need to have like technically the philosophical culture. You don't need to know the names and stuff. You just need to think with an open mind. That's philosophical culture. Conceptual art is reversed control. My IQ is like 1. Come on. If your IQ was 1, what is 1 IQ? Now you wouldn't even be a functional human being. What, 1 is like a person in a coma or something like that? All right, changing topics, but I already have 2 guest artists on my list. I'm not gonna give you dates because it's not settled, but I know 2 amazing artists that will be guests in a future stream. So prepare to start behaving. And I mean it. When we have guests, you can't just say all the nonsense we say when we are together. You have to be smart. You have to elevate the level so that it feels that this chat, this stream is super high level, right? Yeah, we have to make a good impression. Just kidding, by the way. But yeah, we were gonna have guests, so most likely it will be on, I don't know if it's going to be next Friday or the Friday after that. I'm going to keep the I'm not gonna spoil, but yeah, we have some amazing guests. So the idea will be that I still need to configure that, but the idea will be that I'm going to have the guest and me working on some art at the same time and just chatting with you, while you can change cameras. I really want to make this happen so that you can just go look at the guest, go look at my work, or do a split. That would be pretty cool. So just the nationalities, they are both from the US. Nah, come on, don't stress. You'll be fine. Yeah, for the moment, I'm gonna start, because the entire point is that they will be painting live, and not everybody is okay with the idea of painting live. A lot of artists that I know will never accept, even though they're amazing artists, or will not have technically, like, you know, the technical, like they don't have a good camera, they have like the shitty laptop mic and all. So I'll start with, to experiment, I'll start with artists who work on the YouTubes, right? I'll start with artists who are from here, like they make videos or live streaming of their own, and I'm actually not necessarily always going to choose guests that are from the same kind of field or art niche. I want to choose people outside of my that do things different. So we're not necessarily going to make the same stuff. Like some, I'm not even just going to have painters. It can be anybody who does like digital or whatever, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna need you on your best behavior. Because I think that if we start talking about aliens and what did we talk about back then? What was this conversation last time? It was really like insanity. So we have to prepare some nice topics for nice conversations. Well, actually, I don't care. I don't mind if you it can be actually funny to just welcome the guest with just a nice conversation about aliens. Hello there, welcome to the stream. What do you think about aliens? Do they exist? Oh yeah, we talk about. Oh no, we can't talk about tentacles again. This was the weirdest conversation we had. Yeah, definitely. I don't think. Hello, welcome to the stream. It's so nice to have you. So, what do you think about tentacles? Do they upset you? Do they turn you on? Or tell us all about it. Really want you to feel welcome here. Now we're talking about tentacles again. See what I told you? You're not capable of behaving. I was certain it was going to happen. What if they're painting a cow on a field with a spaceship right above it? Well, that's perfect. So it just means in this case that they are perfectly fit for this stream. They were just made to be invited. It's exactly the type of things that we do here. So, by the way, it will be the next challenge of the week after Monsters of the Abyss. I was disappointed though by the 2 submissions. Great submissions in the previous, in the current challenge of the week submissions. They are good, but no tentacles. So I was kind of disappointed. And the spaceship has tentacles. Okay, you're thinking way too deep there. You lost me. Painting looks pretty complete. Well, this part almost, yeah. Just a couple of things here and there. Couple details, and I guess if you rewind you'll see like its details, and it's because I never work on like things that take a lot of focus for me, so just fixing a couple details here and there is good. And I also have like this big part down there on the painting. This is actually the foot. I need to paint the shoe. It's not very fascinating, so I figured let's fix the beard and stuff, the shadows that I wanted to do. Because it's kind of one of the main attractions of the painting, this character. I really wanted to have some nice textures. So it does feel complete, but you know, that's what I do. I overkill. Okay, maybe now I regret, Gary, launching you on this in this quest. What's the story about the life support tube? It's all about holding on to life. So like they're all in like survival mode, except the kid. They all have like sort of survival gear. See? But I don't know the meaning exactly, but you know, like a lot of things that I do. No, they are synthetic, not Kalinsky. Alpai ever painted a story with a UFO and a cow. Thank you, Anna. Next week as well, I'm gonna stream more than usual. So I'll be there, my boring self. I'll make paintings, and when I feel bored, I'll stream. I really want to challenge me to do this, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. This I'll do this painting until it's done challenge. Like I can't end the stream until this painting is finished. Not for this one, even though I could finish this one though, because it would greatly need it. But I don't know, I think the maximum time for a stream is 12 hours. Can I finish in 12? I already done a 12-hour live stream. I only did a very small, and actually a very small thing in this amount of time. So it would be more like kind of a 24-hour live stream. It's insane. Oh no, I hate Tripophobia. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Ah, I hate it. I hate it. No. Bad. Bad, Christopher. Bad. No. Bad. I know exactly what you mean. Ew. Yeah. Ah. Ah. Oh. I had the mental image of these, like, oh, disgusting. I'll have to set the stream up in my art room. There is this eerie quietness in there that has to be eliminated. It'd be fun to paint along with you. Sure. Getting ready to buy croissants for the end stream. Yeah, if I make a 24-hour stream, I'm gonna need more than croissants. So. I wouldn't mind. I don't think I would mind because it's basically life as usual, except that I'll be talking less. I'll be taking breaks. Like I would just leave like for 30 minutes doing my stuff and then come back and paint. It's kind of life as usual for me. So it's not like it's impossible. Like being entertaining and really talking properly and just exchanging ideas, talking, that would be very exhausting, sure, but simply just leaving the camera on and just doing it, even if it means I'm not talking, and you guys make the talking for me, that's completely completely reasonable. I don't know if I have tripophobia, but I hate those pictures with like little holes in them. Just gross me out. Painting a large face with pores, ew. So you get it now. Disgusting. I don't think it's a phobia. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's normal to feel disgusted by that. Like, what kind of human is seeing that and saying, "Hey, I like it. Everything seems normal here." No, it's like, it's not a phobia. It's a normal state of being a human being, right? Because it's just not possible to see that and not be completely grossed out. It has to be universal, is it? Because I have no phobias at all. But this, it's not even a phobia, it's just disgusting. Just saying. You paint so loosely, but it comes out implying so much detail. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Rita. You have a phobia of slimy animals. I don't. I like slimy animals. I don't like when they eat my vegetables that I'm trying to plant in my garden, but I don't mind them. No, not holes. Holes in an arm. Or in a... like in a face. not any type of holes where they're not supposed to be, like, you know, this sort of image with the disgusting things, you know. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, exactly, Nolan. Thank you for supporting me. I'm talking about the pictures that are made especially to be disgusting. Like they take some kind of bee's hole and they like Photoshop it on like some person's arm. And that's disgusting. That's all. It's final. That's decided. You can unanimously vote and say that it's gross. And that's, yeah, I'm glad we all agree. What should I paint as my first oil painting after taking a huge break? Do I paint spheres and squares, a tree, lol? No, paint something that you find interesting and take. My idea, if you make all these digital paintings, is that you that makes the digital paintings on Discord? If you make all those digital, just try to take the idea from the digital thing and translate that into a painting. Not necessarily copying the same thing, but making it a new version or a new... So basically you already had the idea, you just have to execute with us. And sort of get used to not having Control Z anymore. I haven't seen any videos where you talk about artists that inspire you. Well, I used to make these super long series of learning from the masses back in the days. So the last one I did was actually me copying, but I also did just reviews of the work. It also happened. Yeah, master copy can be a good idea as well.
I was bleeding, nothing to
And that
believe
painting
in,
behind me,
my pressure and
this one.
mistakes. Wanted better,
This one is a book, is the book of Caravaggio, Dali. This is a reproduction of Caravaggio. And this was a painting by my grandfather. This one is, I always have it in the background. Ew, actually, I'm stuck here. I hope I can reach. No, I can't reach, so I have to disconnect. This one is my... I always show this one, I always keep it in my studio. It's my inspiration painting. It's done by my grandfather. It's his signature here. I always have this one in the back of my... I always have this one in the back of my studio. Just... it's always my inspiration to keep me going. I don't know, it's very sentimental. Yeah, it's a gouache on paper, so I hope it can survive. It's already kind of warping a bit. But, yeah, it's my really the inspiration. Like it's yeah, you know, you always have a sentimental piece like that. And yeah, I like it. I like the simple composition. My grandfather was mostly an amateur artist. He also did things like this. I have to show you. He was he also made these. Yeah, pretty sure. He made this. He was mostly an amateur. He was a teacher his whole life, and when he had time, like he was always busy doing stuff. And one day he discovered how to make these. They're super cool. It's like a mix between engraving and painting or drawing in a way. And he made tons of these. We have many of these in the house, and they really do look very slick, kind of a nice very modern design. Feels like the iPhone version of a painting, kind of the Apple made paintings better. And he made tons of these. And yeah. Yeah, he was very talented. He did this with a sort of a drill and a little. I don't know. I never had the opportunity to learn this with him. It was like too late when I started being old enough to understand what was going on. So he could never taught me that. But yeah, very cool, very inspiring. It's like an etching. Yeah, almost. Except that it's not made for printing. It's just like that. It's a stainless steel. And you engrave and draw at the same time with he used to have like these tiny bits that you put at the tip of a drill, so it rotates very fast and it kind of creates all sorts of scratching effects. Very cool. So that's it. Yeah, sentimental things. Always keep sentimental works in your studio where it helps. I mean, it feels like home, right? Yeah, he was a very, very creative man. He always had so many stuff, like, but that's just one of his things. Like, he did like sailing and golfing and cycling and stuff. He was like the busiest man in the entire universe. Yeah, pretty much like what a dentist uses. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, that's going to be it for me for this one. But it was a very nice, pleasant live stream in your company. I'll hope you'll be there for the next session. The next one will not be with our guest, but probably the one after that. So we'll have one last stream together to gather ideas on what questions we can ask to our guest and how we can be nice and polite hosts for this wonderful artist that's going to be joining us next, probably next Friday or the one after that. Not sure. All right, that's it for this episode. I'll see you for the next one. As always, my friends, joy and inspiration to you. Take care. Bye. And now it's the awkward time where I need to go to end stream and press end. Okay. Here I